Maxley is my son. He's 17 months old.
Hi. I know.
He gets meds every 2 hours. Some he gets once a day, some he gets twice a day, some he gets every 12 hours, some he gets every 6 hours, some are every 8.
There we go.
I mean, it's just so much to keep track of. The medications aren't even for children. They're not meant for children, but it's keeping him alive.
You say hi. Hi. Good job. Oh.
My name is Kelsey Ferguson. I am a sales manager, and I have a son, Maxley, and he is 17 months old. He is something. Maxley has a balanced AV canal heart defect, a chromosomal abnormality, which affects growth and development.
Hi. Say yay.
It's very rare. He's the 21st case ever reported, so not a lot of research out there.
Love you.
He has pulmonary hypertension, an interstitial lung disease, and then a sensory disorder as well. He's also tube fed, so that gets switched every 4 hours as well. He's not able to eat orally quite yet. We practice a little bit at a time, but not able to fully eat orally.
Oh, what does mommy have?
Oh, nom nom nom. Good job.
I do have help from my mom. She's literally carrying me. That's how hard I'm leaning on her.
Wanna look at the birdies? Are they flying?
It's really, really helpful to have that love and support, and she's definitely co-parenting with me, so I'm not doing it by myself. Scott, my husband, and I met in college in 2010. I knew there was something special about him. He just loved children, and I knew he'd be an amazing dad.
Oh, you're so nice.
And I knew I always really wanted to be a mom. We started trying to have kids right after we got married. Wasn't happening. So after about a year, we sought out fertility doctors to see what we could do. We were really hesitant. We hadn't told anyone, knowing that this could end in a miscarriage as well. But it didn't. We were able to go on with the pregnancy. At that time, we were devastated. I didn't have a lot of knowledge about if that meant my child would survive or if he'd be handicapped or really just what that meant. At that point, it was a lot going on at once. We had just bought a house, Scott was switching jobs, and Scott started to not feel very good. He was in and out of doctors, just constant cough, body aches, fever, his eyes were red, and I think I kind of thought it's probably stress. When I got admitted, Scott dropped me off, we got me checked in. He went to work for the day, came to see me after work, and he was so pale. I just knew he just was not feeling well. I said, just go home and rest, take it easy, and we'll talk tomorrow. That night, he went to bed and he started coughing up blood. We thought it was funny. We thought, oh gosh, how crazy you're at the same hospital as me and all this is going on, and wow, what a story. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even think to look it up, to research it. They were very nonchalant about it. So Wednesday night, at about 12 o'clock, his doctor called me and said, he's getting worse and we're gonna transfer him back to the ICU. I still honestly didn't think much of it. It's so silly now, but I just didn't think it was a big deal. I obviously didn't know how sick he was. By the time I got down there, I saw his doctor walk into one of those little private rooms at the hospital, which I've seen on TV is not good. My mom and I went and sat in the room, and he just kept talking and he kept saying, his heart stopped and we tried CPR and we just, we can't get a pulse, and he just kept talking. And so eventually I think I just shouted, like, is he gone? You haven't said if he's alive. And he said, well, we haven't got a pulse yet, but he's young, and so we'll do CPR for another hour and try to get a pulse. So my mom and I brought chairs and sat right outside the operating room, these double doors down this long hallway, and we set a timer for an hour, and we sat and we stared at those doors. And I think about 50 minutes later, the doctor came back and said, we got a pulse. He was without oxygen for a long time. We have no idea what his brain capacity will be. And I'm like, okay, he's gonna make it. I mean, there was no other option. He was, of course, gonna make it. They brought me in to see him, and he looked terrible, laying on a bed, covered in a sheet. And he's just this big guy, 6'6" and 375, big guy. And just to be laying there was really hard to see him like that. But I got to hold his hand and tell him how much I loved him and how much our son loved him, and just that I needed him so much. And I have no idea again how long we waited, but the doctor did come in just after midnight and said, I'm so sorry, but there's nothing else we can do. They did a C-section. He was only 33 weeks gestation, so 7 weeks early.
What are you doing? Look at your eyes wide open.
What are you thinking?
He came out breathing at 2 pounds, 4 ounces, which was crazy. He was just this teeny little thing, and he looked so weird because they're just so tiny. They put him on my chest, and that was amazing. We hadn't told anyone his name, so I piled everyone in and shared it with everyone, which I know Scott was so excited about. We loved the name. We knew 5 years before, boy or girl, first child was gonna be Maxley. It is my father-in-law's dad's name.
I want you to meet your grandson. This is Maxley.
He's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Wish Scott was there with me to share that, but I know he was watching. I stayed every single night with him in our room, just by his side and holding him and soaking him all up. Surgery went great, which was amazing. They thought maybe the next day they would extubate him, and then they were like, let's wait one more day. And Wednesday, he just started to get a little bit worse. That Sunday, he started having what they called crisis episodes, where his heart rate would drop and they would get really close to having to resuscitate. They had started talking to me about putting him on life support. All the doctors were very clear that he may never come off. That was hard to think about, putting him on a machine that, didn't help my husband, and then to put your tiny little baby on it. But ultimately, it was our only choice.
I love you so much. You're so big.
I was so sure he wasn't gonna survive the surgery. I felt like I had terrible luck at that point. But he did, and everything went well. They were able to take him off on his 9-month birthday.
Hey, Maxley. Hi. Do you hear Mommy? Hi.
We ended up in the hospital that second time for 112 days.
Are you smiling? Are you smiling? Yeah, I see you looking at Daddy.
His heart surgery was January, ended up going home on May 20th. So. I have a lot of hope for his future. They really didn't know what his life could be like for a long time.
That's your passy? Where's your passy?
My view of what I want for him has changed. I used to think, I want to be a grandma one day. I want him to get married and have children if that's what he wants. And I think when you become a parent, you just want him to be happy. I guess I don't care whatever that means. If he lives at home with me forever, that's awesome. But I hope he's got friends. I hope he's loved. I hope he's happy. He's such a happy kid. He's just really smiley and really happy.
Yay! Good job!
I hope that just continues. You can't have expectations, and I'm obviously learning that. But as long as he's happy, then I'll definitely be happy.